The year 1966 saw the Democratic administration under President Lyndon B. Johnson reach the zenith of its domestic ambition, while simultaneously sinking into the foreign policy quagmire that would ultimately consume his presidency. On the domestic front, the massive Democratic majority continued to push through the boldest pieces of the Great Society agenda. Federal power was extended to reshape American life, leading to the creation of the Department of Transportation and the Public Broadcasting Act, which set the groundwork for non-commercial educational media. Crucially, the government began directly intervening to protect consumers, passing the National Traffic and Motor Vehicle Safety Act to establish federal standards for cars, a major reform spurred by mounting public concern. Programs like the Model Cities Act were launched, attempting to coordinate federal support to radically revitalize struggling urban centers across the country. However, the immense legislative effort was constantly overshadowed by the ever-growing specter of the Vietnam War. This was the year the escalation truly hit home. The number of American troops committed to the jungles of Southeast Asia continued to skyrocket, with the financial and human costs spiraling out of control. This aggressive military buildup, engineered by the Democratic leadership, became the single most destructive political issue of the year. The administration's public assurances that victory was just around the corner became increasingly unbelievable as casualty reports mounted, giving rise to the pervasive public cynicism known as the credibility gap. Johnson and his party were seen by many as lying about the war's progress, bleeding both the national treasury and the lives of young American men, which in turn siphoned crucial resources and political capital away from the very Great Society programs they were trying to implement. This foreign policy failure intensified domestic instability. Despite earlier successes in civil rights, the Democratic-led push for a crucial open housing bill, which aimed to outlaw racial discrimination in the sale and rental of homes, was brutally crushed. A coalition of conservative Southern Democrats and Republicans successfully filibustered the measure in the Senate, proving that resistance to racial equality was far from over. This failure, combined with the outbreak of violent urban riots during the summer in cities like Chicago and Cleveland, led to a powerful white backlash against the pace and scope of racial and social reform. Frustrated voters, angered by the war, rising taxes, and domestic unrest, turned on the Democrats in the 1966 midterm elections, handing the party significant losses in both the House and the Senate. The political tide had decisively turned, ending the brief era of unchallenged liberal ascendancy and setting the stage for years of political division.